like so excited for who we have on the set right now. Janelle, how are you, girl?
I'm very well, Kaz.
How was your weekend?
Well, it was a good weekend because we spent it together, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Hectic. We're here on set, but actually last night we were working at an event. Big up Hazel, Tamaray's soiree, and we probably didn't roll in till about, what, 3 a.m. this morning, and we're back at it again today. But all good, we are blessed. And actually, I just want to say, we have been blessed today in many ways. The weather outside isn't so good, but there is a ray of sunshine here, and her name is Karen Hamilton Bannis of AK Wild Designs, and she has kindly provided us these wonderful scarves. Her designs are inspired by nature and also inspired by African and Japanese print. And if you like what you see, I mean, we love it. They feel great, don't they?
Absolutely.
So if you like what you see, you can check out Karen. She'll be selling at Africa on the Square, and that's on the 27th of October. But you can also check her out on Facebook, Wild Nature, and that's wild with an E. You can check her out on Instagram, AK Wild, again with an E, Nature, AK Wild, E, Nature. And also her website, www.spoonflower.com/AK Wild Nature. So yeah, check her out. We love wearing her designs, and we're sure you're going to love wearing her designs too.
But you know, have you noticed, even on the scarf that I've got, she's got the logo of our chat show. She's got the motherland, Africa.
I did actually, my eye did pick that up actually, and actually there's a few things on there. Not only is the logo of No Ordinary Woman Chat Show in there, but it's inside the symbol of female.
Wow.
So that's why I said,
That's
you know,
amazing.
we've been amazingly blessed today, and yeah, big up Karen.
And guys, make sure you check her out. But without further ado, we have an awesome, no ordinary man on the show today. And his name is Stephen Graham. He's a multi-disciplinary educational service provider. He's an entrepreneur. He's a founder of EP Global, which is a company that aims to inspire and enlighten through informative films, books, workshops, health and fitness, and youth and family mentoring. He's a man of many, many talents, guy. And Stephen has a degree in sports medicine, which he attained in 2011. And he's a personal trainer, and he has other various sports and health qualifications. Using these skills obtained, he runs various fitness projects in the community.
Sounds like an amazing guy, right?
It really does, doesn't he?
It almost sounds like so many guys rolled into one.
Yes, however, there is a bit of a different story with Stephen as well. Before he actually got into everything else which I've mentioned, he also, for a lot of us, not everybody, he grew up in a council estate like many youths, like ourselves. He found himself getting into trouble with the law and heading down a destructive path due to various issues in his personal life. As a youth, Stephen believes that he was psychologically damaged back then, which caused him to find comfort on the streets for many of our young people, and yeah, many of us. And he was addicted to an environment and situations that were non-beneficial. He surrounded himself with violence and danger. So without further ado, we're going to allow Stephen to expand on his story. And guys, make sure you get comfortable. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Kaz. How are you? How are you, my dear?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show. So, Stephen, so we've just had a snippet about yourself. So if you don't mind just sharing to our viewers in regards to your upbringing, because obviously EP Global came a bit later. So if you don't mind just expanding a bit more in terms of you finding comfort on the streets.
Okay, well, really started from when I was younger in my home. My father, my biological father, he and my mum separated, and my mum had another partner. So my stepfather and I didn't really get along because, well, to be honest with you, I now really don't understand the fullness of why we didn't get along, because he didn't like, him and my father had an altercation, and I just feel like he singled me out in the home. And again, for me, I look at it like this: a man who picks up a woman and she has the children, he has to realize that he's made a covenant not just with the woman but also with the universe, because you're taking on someone else's children to grow as your own. So my stepfather, we not understanding what he required or what he asked for in this universe, he took on my mother, her children, not really understanding his role. And I look at today and think, what he done to me still, what did he go through in his life why he felt he could treat me as well? Because I think he also had psychological issues. Does that make sense?
Yes,
so,
definitely.
So anyway, he, you know, dealt with me in all manners of ways that, you know, it wasn't actually beneficial for me, which she built a lot of anger and tension in myself. And at school I used to fight a lot in my junior school, constantly fighting. In fact, at one stage I used to be called by his surname, so I used to be called Brown, not Graham.
Right.
You know, so it was a weird one because he didn't like me, but he had, you know, had me calling these names. So I don't know if it was a power thing because in my father had altercation. I don't know what was on his mind. But at that time I was in Kiln Park junior school, so I was seeing someone at that time. I used to say, at the time I didn't know psychiatrist because I was always being angry, fighting, and then
Were you aware of your anger at that time though?
yeah.
You were?
Yeah, I was aware of my anger to a sense that, because he used to sometimes get like physical hit by him, and he'd play like Mr. Nice Guy in front of my mum. So, and then he'd say that I'd done something to why I got hit. So that kind of actually filtered into my, you know, like filtered into my actions as well. So it actually started to project what he was doing to other people. So I'd do things and act like, you know, I didn't do it. Like even my little sister, when we used to have arguments, I'd take her dollies and bust her head off the dolly and throw it away and just, no, I didn't do nothing. So I kind of mimicked his actions. So that was a part of my, what also affected me. So from junior school, I went to high school and troubles continued, where I ended up, you know, getting kicked out of 4 high schools. In fact, I went to John Kelly Boys High School and then got booted out of there. Went to Hampstead High School, got kicked out of there. And then I went to Elstone, got booted out there, and then went to Queen's Park when it became Queen's Park, when it merged with Bronzy Park and South Kilburn. And I got booted out there as well, you know, all for violence and various other crazy things.
But all stemming from your experience.
Yeah,
obviously.
family home, and plus when I was young I lost 2 of my friends as well, so that also affected me as well, to the streets.
So can I just ask, in regards to you obviously being like, you know, kicked out of all these schools and everything, but what else was going on in the home? Was your other siblings I mean, in terms of your sibling, because you mentioned you got a sister, where was so how many siblings?
In the home there was 2 more sisters and 2 more sisters and 2 brothers.
So were they going through anything similar to yourself, or it's just yourself because obviously you felt like excluded and everything else?
The way he was treating me.
Right, okay.
That must have been really, really tough for you. And I think with that background where you're coming from, against that backdrop, for you to go on and start EP Global makes it that much more amazing and spectacular, really.
Yeah, definitely.
So we want to know, well, tell us about EP Global.
Okay, EP Global was a company I made when I came out actually. I decided to do EP Global after I went to university, because my aim was going to university was actually to get a degree in medicine, because when I was incarcerated, I realised that my passion for my youth, which I was always good at football from a young boy, I was always good at, like I was a very people person youth, but I had a lot of issues. Like I said, I had my own psychological issues that I didn't actually always express to people. So I'd keep a lot of my problems within myself. So I kind of kept a lot of pent up anger. So when I came out, I decided to go to college, and I went to university, got a degree, and then I wanted the mental use, but I didn't want to just go straight into it. I don't want to
cut you, but I think it's important to mention that, because we didn't.
In regards to, you said about being incarcerated. Can you just give us a bit more information in regards to what happened there as well? Okay. Because we kind of cut your journey slightly. Yeah.
Well, what happened is, after I went to 4 high schools, I went back to, after I went to 4 high schools, Mum sent me to Jamaica, because I had a lot of problems with police as well.
She packed you off.
Yeah. How did that feel?
My mum was the best for me. No, she wanted the best for me, because I had police at my door all the time, like constantly. I was at 15, I had police at my door for armed robbery, which they said I did, that I didn't do. And the reason I didn't do, because I was actually on the ID parade for something else the day they said I did the crime.
Whoa.
So my alibi was actually the police. That makes sense. So it was like, well, Mum said, you know, enough of you here, we need to send you. So I said I did have an outstanding robbery charge, and Mum's desire was get me out no matter what. You get what I mean? So I left.
Do you think that was because she felt that she couldn't like control you? She wasn't.
It wasn't about she couldn't control me, because in the home I was actually the most beautiful person you could find.
And this is a common story.
It wasn't like she couldn't control me. My mum, I had nothing but respect and honour for Mum. I mean, I grew up in South Kilburn. Everyone in South Kilburn knows me, would tell you Stephen was the nicest child in the world. Even in Stonebridge Church, I used to hang around, but they know the flip side of me. I'm wild. But you know what I mean? So it's not, Because I think there's a lot of issues when even like when you go, because I do a lot of work with young people, I see social services, they say, oh, they don't understand how can a child so good at home, but yet on the streets of that. It's not always there's an issue with the child. Yeah, right. I had an issue in my home with my father, but not actually my mother.
Yeah.
Mama was my rock, if that makes sense.
But there's something that you said which I thought was quite crucial in terms of what you were saying about your stepfather and how his behaviour, and he would do things, you know, when your mum wouldn't see and things like that, and then obviously you mirrored that. But does it not go to show that a lot of the time our actual foundation of our teaching is within the home first?
Of course.
Because obviously you mirrored that. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's so essential that we as parents, we make sure we want our children to mirror what they see in the home. So if you don't want your child to be doing X, Y, Z, then it's for you to make sure you're not. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I do, but at the same time, this is the way society rolls as well. It's not just the home's one factor, but there's many factors that factor into why kids do what they do. That makes sense, because even myself, as you see, I do slightly talk fast, but when I was young, I used to talk really fast. So that was the next issue again. I spoke very fast, and I spoke, and I used to stutter a lot. So people used to laugh at school. So then I used to punch up people because they would laugh at me. So there's many things that can cause it. And then there was a teacher that I felt neglected me as well, because I'll come in sometimes angry. But doing a teacher, instead of wanting to know why am I angry, you want to tell me get out of the class or tell me. Your whole approach to me was wrong completely.
It's adding fuel to the fire, isn't it?
So I think even now, and that you see that today with children going to school and you don't understand what's going on in their personal life. The first, instead you're trying to embrace the child and find out what's really going on with the child. The first thing is, oh, this child's disruptive, this child's... But you haven't actually understand the underlying issue.
But do you think that is potentially because that teacher doesn't actually have the training or the expertise to be able to identify or know how to deal with that?
Training, yes, I think that's a big part of it, but also there's that compassionate side as well. Right. That love for doing something, not just a paycheck and I'm going to get my 6-week holiday in the summer and I'm off and I'm getting paid. It's having that compassion, that understanding.
It's actually vocational, isn't it? So you have to have a real desire to want to help young people, not label them, not box them in, not categorize them. But I want to take you back to EP Global because, I really want you to talk about, we've heard quite a bit about your journey and your story, which, you faced many, many challenges in your life. But what is EP Global all about?
EP Global is all about awareness and understanding. It's more of a... for me, it's bringing light to people about different aspects of life that affect us, because, like I said, it's not one thing that factors in that affects our people. So EP Global's sheds light on like history, culture, because I think that's very big for, especially the black people in the West Hemisphere, for what they say the transatlantic slave trade. Not that is actually a trade anyway, because who was really trading but them? So it was just straight slave.
It was an exchange, was it?
Yeah, just straight slave. But, so I do a lot of documentaries. So I do a lot of traveling. So I do a lot of documentaries like in Palestine, Jordan, Egypt, Morocco, on the black history of, on the history of the black people in that region, because the majority of black people do either subscribe to Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and it's about giving understanding of who they history and culture of that region and what's really going on, and kind of moving away from this Western concept of what we see European Jesus and the pearl image of what they call Christianity, Judaism, Islam. Yeah. And I do like...
So do you offer services? Yeah. So
can you give us a bit more information about the services?
The services we offer is I do personal training in the community. I also do fitness classes. I do mentor young people. I teach them boxing, kickboxing, media, teach them filmmaking. Also for parents as well, because you can't live without parents, because a lot of people focus on children, don't realise the parents is more stressing than the child. The parents got all the worry and everything else. So I also that with parents as well, kickboxing, fitness, and I really put a little impact on teaching young people fitness and martial arts, because I've done martial arts for a long time. Because for me, I think, when a man's a bit more confident with his hands, he's less likely to want to walk on a knife. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you can handle yourself. So and I think it also, at the same time, it also builds that confidence within yourself still as an individual to, learn to, because for me, martial arts, boxing, is all transformational skills. It's not just in the ring or in the dojo or in the gym. It's something you can actually take out into the real world.
And it also in terms of it develops kind of mental stability, doesn't it? Anything to do with fitness.
Skills. I mean, you learn to even the coordination of movements. As much as it's physical, it's also your mind that works the body to move in that motion, so that you can take that same out into the world, and how do you conduct yourself and how you carry yourself.
Yeah.
That's one thing I would like to applaud you in regards to as well, because even with yourself doing the fitness, etc., but obviously you served time, and you didn't go back to that kind of lifestyle that you was living. You changed everything. You started EP Global. I want to ask you, what does EP Global Limited stand for as well?
Expressly passionate, because I'm very especially passionate about life. So EP stands for that. So especially passionate global, so globally my energy can't be contained. That makes sense.
Well, I think we can sense that, right? Because there's so much. You've written a number of books.
Yes, I'm a gun. What's I'm a gun?
I'm a gun actually addresses the psychological impact guns have on our people. It's looking at the gun. The story of it is actually based around the gun's actually the main character, the main narrator of the book. It's actually the gun. So the guns actually tell the story. So I gave the gun a personality, a character, because when you look at when a person has a gun in their hand, you know, they feel, you know, it's like, or any weapon of choice you have in your hand, you feel stronger, more confident, but then is that really you? Or is it actually what you have in your hand talking to you? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Not on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, it's not actually you. You get what I mean? So going from an experience of myself and the life I lived, it was important that I, you know, address that in a different way. Instead of glorifying road life, I want to share that, you know, a deeper experience about street life and, you know, how the gun can impact us as a people.
And you got a documentary in regards to I'm a
I
gun
got
as
a documentary.
well.
I'm a gun. I've done that in 2000. I think it was 13 or 14.
Right.
And
is that available on?
Yeah. So in fact, all my documentaries, I've made 14 documentaries. They're all available on my YouTube channel for free.
Okay, we're going to come to that in a minute. But I wanted to also talk about your autobiography as well.
Yeah. What led you to do this?
Okay, my autobiography. I just finished writing my autobiography. I wrote that because I wanted to express my whole journey. In fact, it was actually, for me, it was self-healing. It was therapeutic for me. I needed to express, because I carried a lot of anger, and even when I came out of prison, I still had certain things that I wanted to just get off my chest. You know, so for me, it was important that I wrote the autobiography, because I've spent 8 years, and plus I spent 8 years. I went to prison when I was 15. I don't know if I didn't mention before, I went to prison when I was 15, in Jamaica, first time. My mom
you was in prison in Jamaica?
Yeah, Mom sent me to Jamaica when I was 15, when I said earlier. I had an outside robbery charge over here, but she actually wanted to just run from it. And so, you know, some might say, well, your mum wanted to run away, but a mother's child and a mother's love.
That's right.
She's not willing to see me go to prison, so she ran. But the lawyer said, you know, he's fine, that the case is kind of cool. There's not much against me, but because of what the police said before, like I said, the police had wanted me for armed robbery, and they always try to set me up. She ended up sending me there, but when the lawyer said to her, bring him back, you know, he'd win this case, and then let him go back then, because at least he won't be on, you know, it won't be a runaway. Mum sent for me, but in my crazy mind, because in my mind, like I said, wasn't really thinking right, I decided to bring back weed. So I was a drug trafficker as young, and then I got caught. Then I ended up doing some time in Central as a little boy, which is a lockup in Jamaica prison, in Jamaica Central.
Oh, so you didn't get back to London by then?
No, I was 15. Yeah, I did 15. I spent a couple of weeks in Central. Mum came down and got me out of prison, because Mum was very connected. She knew a lot of people. And I came out of prison, came back to England. That time I started Pirate Cape and Cobra with them. And then I went back to Jamaica, and I was just before I was 16, I went back. And I stayed till I was 19, but I had to leave Jamaica again because of situations. I got myself a lot of violence, and I had to leave Jamaica. At 19, came back here, stayed there till I was 21. I went back when I was, stayed there 21, went back to Jamaica and got myself in problems again. Then, you know, next life was lost, and then this time I got caught and I ended up going to prison.
And that's when you served 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years, because they gave me, first I was looking 25, but they gave me, it went down to manslaughter, 15, so I ended up doing
8 years.
8 years, yeah. In Jamaican prison, hard, it's not easy.
Very,
Ooh.
yeah, very, very hard.
I think that's just like another, like a conversation we need to have offset, but in regards to you even going through that, even, you know what, no, it needs to be talked about, because what was that like? Because I think...
Jamaican prison?
Yeah, because I think we need to educate our young people about, you know, what it's like to go in prison, because we do see all of these programs about being in prison and various being in prison abroad.
A lot of people like to glamorize the prison life. For me, there's no glamorization for it. A lot of people glamorize the prison life, like, you know, it's, you know, I come out of prison, I've got the stripes, I've done it, prison. But there's nothing great about prison, you know what I mean? Like, for me, there's a lot of struggles. In Jamaica prison, like over here, weapons are very, you know, easy to get hold of.
Yeah.
You know, I was attacked in prison, I attacked back people in prison. You know, I've seen people trying to escape. Walls got blown up in prison. I've seen prisoners, because in Jamaica prison there's no toilets in your cell.
Yeah.
So you literally have to,
Plastic bag,
urinate in a cup, and you actually do your number 2 in a plastic bag.
That's right.
Jeez. And the thing is, if a man don't like you, you can't go toilet in your cell.
Yeah.
So imagine holding that for 23 hours. You have to hold your feet.
Jeez.
You know, it's like with toxins.
Yeah.
I've seen prisoners literally sweat, like cold sweat, because they're holding remember it's toxic, you let that in your body. And they're holding that for like 22 hours, 23, because just on the lock, and you want to go to the toilet, and the man says, if you go to my cell, once you bend down, I'm going to put my knife in you. So you technically, you have to.
So it's either that or you hold it. Yeah. Imagine that choice.
If you got 5-6 men in a cell and everybody's like, you're not going to.
So hold on a second. So it's not just 2 people in a cell.
No, Jamaica don't prison like England prison. You have 2 people in a cell. It's either one single cell, and you have to really bad to get single cell, or you have to try to have single cell quite a few times, because I was crazy at times. But you have to have single cell, or you have 3 people in a cell, or it's 5 and 7. And I mean the cell's the size of a cell. It's the size of a toilet. Like literally toilet. It's small. So
in terms of all of this experience that you went through, being incarcerated, going through all of that, not being in prison here, but actually being in prison there, and I mean, it's a totally different shade of prison. Jamaica. I mean, I've seen a documentary about it, and my mother's from Jamaica. I know quite a bit about the prison system there, just from understanding what goes on there. But how did you go from that, go from being really angry, acting out all the time, because that's what you were doing, not really thinking about consequences, otherwise you wouldn't have done the things you did if you thought about consequences. How did you go from that to now, EP Global, you have a master's?
No, I've got a degree.
Oh, degree, sorry. On your way to a master's.
Master's is coming.
You've written some books. How documentaries
music,
and actually using your experience to help others. How did you do that?
Well, in prison I decided to make a transformation. And like I explained in my autobiography, I was very angry in the beginning of prison. I was fighting constantly, non-stop fighting. I had a lot of problems. But after a while, I decided to just stop being angry at me, like stop being angry at everybody, and I just kind of took time out for myself and just spent a lot of time myself. And I think this society we live in, it doesn't teach you it doesn't give you time to actually self-reflect, because we're always busy in life. We're always going every day. And I always try to encourage people to take time out, and that's why. And sadly, I had to go to prison to do that. But I had time to. I moved myself from prisons, kind of, and just checked myself. And I started to really think about my life and what I was going through, and the things I did and the choices I made. And then, I'll be honest, I picked up my Bible, and that was actually the next thing that actually started really making me want to change. Because I read the whole Bible twice in prison. Wow. So I read the whole Bible twice in prison, and I kind of started finding love for myself. And then people start calling me Israel in prison. And then, my name changed from Stephen and a real name basically, I'm Tata, and then changed to Israel. And then I sent my family for a Hebrew Bible, and then I taught myself Hebrew, so I taught myself to speak Hebrew in prison, and everyone started calling me prison Hebrew.
So you had all of this potential and capability inside of you to do all of this, and you just never had the opportunity to tap into it for one reason or the other, right? Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's like a lot of people in this society. We live in a society that's so fast going, and people don't really take that time out to actually channel their own beauty, or channel their own passions. Most of us don't. Most of us never actually see our passion. We live and we go through life, achieve maybe worldly things and physical things, but we actually haven't achieved our passion. And there's a big difference between achieving, a lot of money, a lot of this or whatever, but you haven't actually achieved what really makes you happy.
Yeah. That's what we talk about, right?
You have to realize yourself, what is your sole purpose in this earth? What have you come to earth for? Have you come to earth just to make money and drive a car and have a big house, and then you die, and then God forbid your children just blow it, so everything you live for was vanity, because nothing came out of it? Or do you actually come to find your own purpose? Why am I here on this earth?
Yeah. I love that, because in regards to what you said, even though, like I watched this program called Impact Theory, and he has various different individuals that comes on a show like yourself, and sharing their suffering to be able to get them to where they are today. Do you know what I'm saying? So even with what you went through, you had to go through that, because if you didn't go through that, we wouldn't have these books. We wouldn't be talking to you right now. Do you know what I mean? And I so agree with what you're saying, because that's something myself and JL talks about. We need to sometimes be still to be able to find out what we're supposed to be doing, what the next step is, and things like that.
Can I add to that? It was it's true I had to go for what I went to, but you know, it's like A to B. Life's really about A to B. Life simplicity. Me personally, I believe life simplicity. We make it difficult. And society, or should I say society makes life difficult for us. So when we know we should be there, we actually end up going here and going there and doing this and doing that. Because we're thinking about bills and thinking about this and thinking about so many different things that we don't actually just go straight to the journey that we want. And when you find out those people who actually go through that hardship or that struggle, and I don't mean streetwise, even like certain entrepreneurs who just like, okay, I'm going to quit school, I'm going for what I want. They end up really having a really great successful life.
They do.
They do.
You know, a lot of great millionaires aren't people who actually went college, university. They are people who just said, okay, I want to be this. I have the passion for this. I can do this. And you know, don't care how long I'm struggling for. Don't care how long it's going to be. Who laughs at me? I'm going for it. And you'd be surprised.
But the thing is, not everybody's able to tap into that. Not everybody's able to see or identify what their natural talents are, or you know, think that they can even make a living out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? So, even with that, I mean, how have you been able to fund yourself in terms of doing your books and your films?
And can I just add as well, music as well? I mean, we're running out of time, but music, I think we need to throw that in there.
Yeah, hate breeds hate. And, you know, well, I was going to ask you to give us the chorus on there, but you can get that on YouTube, right?
Yeah, you can get on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, it's all on my YouTube channel.
But even in regards to that, I mean, even with that particular track that you've got, Hate Breeds Hate, give us a bit more information in regards to that. What inspired you? Yeah,
what inspired me, because again, I look at that, I said hate only breeds hate. Why discriminate? You can't hate me without hating self. Technically, the point is like, for me to hate somebody because of their race or whatever reason, there has to be something about myself I don't love that I got time to hate you. Does that make sense? Just putting it in a nutshell. When you walk around hate, that's a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy, and it's very heavy on the soul. So for me to walk around with that kind of energy, just like I said, my stepfather. Now I don't hate him. Before I actually wanted to hurt him very bad. You know, at one time, person. Now I'm cool with him, and I know it hurts him more that he sees that I'm just getting on with it. I literally see him in Church Road, and he's like, it burns.
Would you say you've forgiven him?
Be honest, I don't need to forgive him.
Okay.
He needs to forgive himself. That makes sense. I literally don't really think about him in that aspect. Like, I carry that energy for him. So there's nothing to forgive. Because it's either like, if me saying this forgive, like me saying there's something that's still hurting me. But there's nothing hurting me or holding me. I actually let to free myself. So if it's his job now to sort himself out. Does that make sense? So I don't, because I'm not really a big fan of the certain things, certain verbal constructs we use in West Hemisphere. Like, you know, do you forget that person? Do you know? I really don't think someone needs to be forgive me. Someone asked me yesterday as well, funny, about the guy I actually, whose life I took in Jamaica. And I said, regardless of certain other things, there's certain people I actually want to talk to their parents and their families because of the past. This is where I'm at in myself. And then my friend said to me, do you want the mothers to forgive you? I said, no. I said, no. I want to understand where I was at that time. Not have forgiveness, because I've already forgiven myself. I already understand who I am. It's about understanding, because I think forgiveness is basically, you're asking somebody, it's like you're looking for permission for someone to show you your errors, but you need to find your errors. You need to understand who you are, what you went through, and why you did it.
So it's not about, sorry to cut, it's not about somebody exonerating you, it's about you exonerating yourself. And letting that person feel the difference, and just, they can feel you, innit? Because life's about energy, it's like the heartbeat, and the heartbeat, it's about feeling what's coming from within. I want people to feel that. So for me, asking that forgiveness is not something I actually want. I want people to understand me. Do you get what I mean? And same with my stepfather, I didn't want him to, I don't forgive him. There's no need to, because I'm good in myself now. He needs to find himself and be good himself.
That's interesting, because normally you hear the opposite to what you're saying. And obviously you're coming from the perspective of the person that did take that other individual's life. So I think that's quite interesting to hear it from that perspective.
It is. And actually, what I've really heard from what Stephen has said is about the words and the phraseology that we put around certain things that become so common and common speak and common parlance. You need to forgive. But actually, listening to what you said makes a lot of sense. I mean,
if you look at history, culture, and everything, if you look at Asian chemistry, it tells you that the heart's weighed by the feather of my hat. So if you ain't cleaned your own heart, then you're still impure. And then the same thing the Bible says, all the ways of man are clean his own eyes, but Lord of God weigh the spirits. So if you ain't cleaned your own spirit, then, do you get what I mean? So how are you really going to get anywhere anyway? So any culture, we really look at Bible, Quran, Kemet, Nawabi, whatever you're thinking about, it's always about cleansing yourself. So if I'm asking you to forgive me, what am I really doing? Because I still ain't cleansed myself. I need to sort myself out first. So I think the key thing, I think the key thing, I think a lot of people kind of holding to Western concepts, and I kind of let that go, and actually just look into, I think just be one with yourself and truth, innit?
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to ask this question.
Yes.
Which female role model has inspired you and the most? Who and why?
Which female role model? Wow, there's not one, man. There's too many. Cause
Name a few.
Name a few. Like
It could be living, it could be past.
Wow, I love you said that. You know why? Because throughout history, women have actually played more vital roles than men actually realise. Again, if you go to Kemet, we're talking about Isis.
Yes.
If we go into the Bible, we're talking about, and people, we're talking about Sarah. I'll start at Adam and Eve in a minute, but when you look at Adam and Eve's story, though some people don't believe in some people, it's never here or there. The point is, Eve was made for Adam's strength, to make Adam strong. So technically, and if the devil went to Eve and not to Adam, it shows you why, because she's Adam's strength in it. Let's go to the strength of a man, pull that away, and then we got the man. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you look at Sarah and Abraham, because I'm a person I like to read scriptures. Sarah and Abraham, it was Sarah got all the best of Abraham. It was Moses' mother that hid Moses, if you understand the scriptures. So throughout the scriptures, women's always done significant things.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? So Ruth the Moabitess, women, if you look at even today, Malcolm X, his wife Betty Baz, you can go history, if you talk about Prophet Muhammad, it was his wife Khadijah. Throughout history, women's always been stronger. So I can't say there's actually a specific woman. I would say the feminine energy is powerful, and
Yes.
I love it.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Praise God. Yes.
We could talk to you all day.
Yes, we could. You need to come back. We like
Yeah,
Stephen,
we
don't
like
we?
Stephen.
Okay, so Stephen, I was just I want to wrap up, but what advice would you give to, a parent that may be going through something similar to what your mum went through with yourself? What advice would you give to them? Because obviously, like you said, your mother loves you, do you know what I mean? And she obviously, she wanted the best for you. And I'm sure that's like that for thousands of other mothers and fathers out there as well. But what advice would you give to a parent who's potentially watching and really is stressed out because they just really, they feel that society's letting them down, family's letting them down, and they love the child, but they just can't get that control of the individual, that child.
Getting the control of the child, I don't know if getting the control. I get what you're saying about getting control, but I think it's about find a way to gel, to understand the child, what the child's going through, because again, unless the child opens up, you'll never know.
Yeah.
So the key is first is to understand what the child's going through, and then maybe you can't do it, tap into somebody else who can help.
Yeah.
That's really key, to find someone who can help, to understand what the child's going through. But I will also say it's not just a mother's role, even if you're single, fathers out there who's listening, you also have your role to play as well. You know what I'm saying? You need to step up to the plate and look after your children. And at the same time, I think the woman and the man needs to find a way of, even if you're not together, find a way of communicating, even if it's over the phone. Because for me personally, as a youth, even if I had my father over the phone saying to me, Stevie, behave yourself, it would have done something to me. That important of that father, mother, not relationship in the sense of romantic relationship, but relationship for the child is really important. Do you get what I mean? But it's definitely, I would say to a mother to really try to understand what's going on with that child, and don't blame yourself neither. That would tell the mothers, don't blame yourself, because a lot of mothers do, and that also isn't actually beneficial to blame yourself for what your child's doing, because there's a lot of influences and things that factor in to why children do it. And if you start blaming yourself as a woman, or even a father, or anyone, just a single father, if you start blaming yourself, you're not actually it's not gonna do no justice.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So it's a very challenging, it's hard, and it's about, it's not, I won't say control of emotions, but it's about channeling that emotion the right way.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean? Because I think a lot of parents, you see, they blame themselves, think, I ain't done things right, or I done things wrong. But it's not actually just down to yourself. Society has a massive role to play on a child's life as well.
You're absolutely right.
This is the part that I don't like.
I know, but we have to wrap up. Stephen, before we do, I think, first of all, ask you if you have any events coming up, and second of all, hold that thought, second of all, let the viewers out there know where they can find out information about you, social media, etc., etc.
Okay, cool.
So any events and your contact information.
Okay, so they can find my things about myself on my website, on two websites. I've got one, my book and documentary website with my music, www.stephengraham.net, Stephen with a PH, Graham without the E, so Graham, no E on the end, and my youth work and my community stuff, you can find it on www.stephengrahamprojects.com.
And any future events?
Well, hopefully very soon my autobiography will come out, so there'll be a crazy book launch on that still. So
and are we invited?
of course, of course.
You heard it here.
Most definitely, hold me to it, definitely.
Okay, cool. Okay, so guys, thank you for tuning in, Janelle.
Yes, thank you. Thanks to
Stephen.
Stephen.
Thank you for having me, man.
No, it's
Truly.
been a pleasure.
Yes.
Pleasure and a revelation.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay, guys, so thank you for tuning in, and make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, No Ordinary Woman Chat Show. Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. And ensure that you do give a comment. Just let us know your thoughts about the show, and also if there's anybody out there that does have any fashion labels, designers, and you want us to showcase your garment, by all means do get in contact with us. You can see all our social medias down below. So until next time, from myself and beautiful Janelle,
Yes, thank you.
see you.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.